Here representing Western State Colorado University, we have head coach Jazz Bains, running back Austin Ekeler, quarterback Brett Arrivey, linebacker Jake Bernhard, and defensive back Gerald Coleman. Coach Bains, if you could start us off with some opening comments.
Sure. I'd like to thank RMAC Sports for putting on this great event, a great opportunity for our student athletes from all institutions to get recognized and get some exposure. Obviously, got to thank Western State for the opportunity they give me to represent our great institution. So we appreciate everything that they're doing and appreciate what you guys are doing here, Eric. Excited for this season. I think you're going to hear that a lot from all the coaches. We're looking forward to this fall, starting up here in about a week or so. We've been anticipating, getting going here for quite a few months now, and we're looking forward, to get started. We've had a great summer, a lot of guys sticking around all summer long. Big numbers for us, our commitment level from, in particular, this group of guys that's here. They're a great representation of our program. They're great leaders on their respective sides of the football. They do a great job leading their teammates through the summer, throughout the season, and I think you can expect big things from them this year. But we've had a great turnout this summer for our workouts all off season, and we feel guys are ready to go. As far as what we have coming back or where we might be at offensively, we basically return our entire offense. I think we returned 10 offensive starters from last year. A lot of guys that have played a lot of games for us. Some 2 or 3 year starters, some new guys in the mix as well coming in, some younger guys last year that helped us out in certain situations. But, we had about 10 guys returning. On defense, we have 6 returners. We lost 5 guys, 3 linebackers, 2 in the secondary, and then both of our specialists returning, our place kicker and our punter. So all those guys are returning as well. So we got a good nucleus coming back. We're finally a little bit older. I heard Coach Smith talk about it earlier, and that's we've had guys now come through the program for the last 3 or 4 years. This junior class is a big class for us. It was our first full recruiting class, along with our senior class. I think we have 17 in our senior group. So we do have a very large group of upperclassmen finally in our program that have gone through for the last 3 or 4 years. So great leadership, great commitment levels from these guys, and we're looking forward to what they'll do this fall.
Morning, Coach Creighton Rams from Gerald Sports. Actually, why don't you direct my first question at Jake and Gerald? For everyone who must respond. But you get 5 starters who graduated, and Jake, who are some of the guys you expect to see stepping up with the linebackers, and then after that, Gerald, you want to address the secondary?
Let's see. Well, we have a couple guys at linebacker, a bunch of young guys in particular. Jordan Woodyard's another inside backer who's been here for a while. We got Ty Henry on the edge and playing some outside. And we got Devin Sweets coming back. We were a couple of the older guys. But other than that, all our guys are real young. And it's going to be a big year for us to teach them and make sure they know the scheme and all that good stuff.
As the secondary goes, we have 3 senior safeties, which is kind of good, so we can kind of direct the younger guys around on the edge. We have a really good athletic corner group. It's going to be some good competition out there, just to see who kind of steps up and makes some plays for us.
Last question for Brett. You have 4 of your offensive linemen are returning this year. Talk about, from a quarterback's perspective, what it's like now. Have an experienced group of hogs, if you will, and just coming back for.
Yeah, I mean, as a quarterback, obviously those front 5 is one of the most important things that you can have. We returned 4. We had 1 senior graduate who started the first 4 games, and at the end of the season, the last couple games we played, we actually have all 5 of those guys returning the last couple games we played. So. That's a huge confidence boost for me. I got great confidence in all those guys up front to, do their job. They know the scheme. They've played together. They've gelled well. And, I got no issues with them. And, that quarterback lineman bond is huge. And, I know for sure we have that. Yeah.
Dave Collins, Eagle Communications in Chatham, Nebraska. Question for Austin. You had 298 carries last year. big, heavy workload. Do you expect that same workload this year? How do you keep yourself durable to handle that much action?
We have a talented receiver group this year, and I think that's going to take a lot of pressure off our run game. Going to make us a more well-rounded offense, and I think that's going to take a bunch of pressure off of me, myself, and our O-line. But yeah, I think that's going to help. And just for durability, I mean, there is a little luck that plays into that. I mean, you can't prevent every injury, but I do, as much as I can, try to stay healthy, just to help the offense as much as possible.
Coach, you were 3 minutes away from ending CSU Buffalo streak. That didn't happen. How much is that fueling you and your guys this year? That was kind of a scar? Did you get over it?
That was a great game. You know, we've had a handful of those, though, you know, for the last 2 years. You know, so we're, you know, at a point where we got to finish games. We've been in that situation a lot. I'd say probably 6 or 7 times in the last 2 seasons. Somehow, some way, we haven't found a way to finish, and that's going to be a big emphasis for us. You know, I think moving forward, you know, into this fall, you know, we've emphasized that through this past spring as well, but it's not necessarily going to be anything that's fueling us as far as that game goes. You know, we're into 2015 and new season and get going on this year, but you know, it's something that we need to focus on as a football team in all 3 phases of the game, because we've had opportunities to win, you know, like I said, 6 or 7 games over the last 2 years that have came down to the final few minutes of a game, a final drive of a game, and we have to find a way to get it done. And I think this is a good group that's going to make that happen.
What about any of the players? Does that still sting at all? Look at the smile.
I mean, like Coach said, we had a lot of games like that this year. And, I mean, to win football games, it comes down to who makes the least amount of mistakes and who's the most consistent. And when it comes down to the end of the games, that's where you need the most consistency. And we just didn't have it from last year. And that's, like Coach said as well, something we're working on is consistency.
I think it also shows us as a group, it instills in confidence that we can play with anybody and we can beat anybody. So it's kind of a confidence boost as well, because we know that we only have to, you know, learn how to win games, and that's it. So I think that's a good thing for us as well.
Coach Bains, RMAC has really taken on a passing league persona the last few years. All kinds of passing records were broken last year. We talked a little about Tyler Slavin and Justin Dvorak and some of the numbers that were put up, but the guy sitting next to you had over 1,600 yards, set, I believe, a school record, top 5 ever in the RMAC rushing season. But I'm not hearing a lot of talk about, I mean, he's a great player, obviously, but he's not maybe the focal point of the guy of the year. Do you think that that's good for your team, that maybe Austin and your team is maybe flying a little bit under the radar this year?
Yeah, you know, for us, you know, they answered a few of the questions, but, you know, for us, we're going to go into games and do what we have to do to try to win the game. You know, whether that's rush the ball 45, 50 times a game or throw the ball 40, 50 times a game. You know, it's whatever, you know, is going to make us successful on the field. I think we're a very balanced offense on both sides of the ball. I think you can pull up any game from last year and you can see us throwing the ball extremely well. You can see us running the ball well at times also. It's just, again, a matter of being consistent in both and doing that. I wouldn't say we're necessarily a heavy run team or a heavy pass team, and we're going to go into the game with a game plan and try to execute that based on what the defense has given us, and our guys do a good job with that, you know, and Brett's done a good job of running the offense for the last couple of years. You know, this is going to be his 3rd year as a starter. He understands what he needs to get done on the field, and I don't think he's you know, very shy or you know, in having to throw the ball or having to hand it off. I don't think it matters to him. So,
Austin, is it different for you coming in this year and having had such a big year last year that there might be maybe a little bigger target on your back?
Not necessarily. It's like Coach said. I mean, whatever we need to do to put us in a position to win is what we're going to have to do. If that means I have to stay in and block more or run the ball more, that's what it has to be. I don't necessarily think that the target on my back is something that is to be concerned, because whatever it takes to win, that's what we're going to have to do.